it! Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Jhonny Twobee here again. I'm here to provide you another fine fan fiction of mine called Baloo Finally Gets His Wish. Now I do not own Tailspin, they belong to Walt Disney Animation Studios. I do not own the music in the background, they also belong to Walt Disney and the respected composers you might hear in the background. I do not own any of the animation, which belonged to villains as Badgirl. I would also like to thank Ann29 for letting me use the word Swazi. Everything belongs to either Walt Disney or someone else, except for the ideas that are mine. Now, for further ado, the fine fan fiction Baloo finally gets his wish. Let's hear the rest of the music for a second. Yo, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Duckburg, 1939. As World War II broke out into Europe, in the Kingdom of Thembia and Japan, Iceland, and the rest of North America, and the American continent, and the free islands of the world were still conducting free enterprising businesses and trying to stay out of it by being neutral as possible. President Roosevelt kept up the moral with his fireside chats and the radio and told as they were trying not to be involved with the World War. Where was I? Oh yes. A younger Scrooge McDuck, multi-billionaire, was pacing in his money bin office, which was the biggest thing in Duckburg. Damn that young scallywag Shere Khan, always meddling in my affairs and buying the factories that I can't. He's always buying them before I could get to them. He's becoming way too damn profitable in his competition, and is getting tight. And competition is getting tight these days. What is he doing that I am not? Scrooge ranted in his Scottish accent. And young Mrs. Featherby walks into the office with his coffee. Mrs. Featherby, what do you think I'm doing wrong? The duck asked. Well, sir, Mr. Khan does have a private air force to ship his products all around the world, while you're still relying on old steamships from the Great War and old railroads to deliver your products, the secretary explained. Did you say private air force? Miss Featherby asked. Yes, sir. Miss Featherby, you're a genius. I could kiss you. I could kiss you, Scrooge said while he was dancing up into the secretary. First thing in the morning, we'll start hiring pilots to get me into the 20th century and make me more money. Meanwhile, back in Cape Suzette, at Khan Towers, Miss Snarly walks into Shere Khan's penthouse office while he's viewing the Cape Suzette metropolis from his outdoor window. Afternoon tea, sir. Miss Snarly, do you know what bothers me more than the Second World War we might get into, as the billionaire tiger turns to his secretary? What's that, sir? Competition, Miss Snarly. That fool Scrooge McDuck is putting together his own private air force by hiring independents to do his work. Khan slams his desk. McDuck will see that I might step up the competition as Khan smiles and releases his claws. Meanwhile, at Cape Suzette, at Hire for Hire, Rebecca Cunningham was swamped with paperwork and all the telephones were ringing at once, and she was waiting for a lazy pilot to come back from one of her deliveries. Yes, Miss Glomgold, I'm sure you can deliver your shipment of 50,000 staplers as soon as possible, as soon as my pilot gets back. Just then, the sea duck gracefully flies to land inside the cockpit. A big gray sloth bear had a nervous look on his face as 13-year-old brown bear was navigating and sitting in the co-pilot singing and drinking an orange soda. What's the matter, Papa Bear? Cloud Kicker asked his sort of adopted father. Well, you know, little britches, I've been seeing Rebecca for a year now, and I've been wanting to propose to her, but I don't have the backbone to do it. Cheer up, Papa Bear, I know you can do it today. Thanks, little britches. I'll try, Blue said with a smile. As the two bears exited the cargo plane, Molly, Rebecca's 7-year-old daughter, came out to greet them. Blue, Kit, you're back home finally. Bring me anything special? Not today, Better Nose, Blue says. As the three bears walked into the office slash home for hire for hire, Rebecca got off the phone with Mr. Glomgold. As she saw the bear, she instantly started to have daggers, and as she stared at Baloo. Baloo, I don't want to hear another excuse why you're late on this. Why you're late this time? The female bear scowled at the big pot. Beckers, please listen to me. There's something I want to tell you, Baloo stated. Not now, Flyboy. I have a very important shipment for you and Duckbird. Please deliver these 50,000 stablers to Mr. Glomgold immediately and come straight back. And no stopping at Louis this time, or you're really fired for sure this time. But Becky, please, I really... No buts, mister. 7:30 sharp. 7:30 p.m. sharp, Rebecca interrupted as she was pushing Baloo out the door. Baloo and Kit loaded up the cargo onto the Sea Duck and flew off. Cheer up, Papa Bear. There's always next time, Kit said as they were flying Duckbird. Meanwhile, at Duckburg Airport, Scrooge was interviewing pilots and watching how they flew. None of these pilots have enough skill for me to trust them with this job, Scrooge said to himself. He needed a pilot whose abilities were extremely good, since the cargo he needed to transport was extremely valuable. Meanwhile, the Sea Duck was almost there when air pirates flew out of nowhere and started shooting Baloo. Man, this gets gold, Baloo yelled as he was evading bullets. Scrooge heard the shooting and looked to the east when he saw the Sea Duck outrunning and doing fancy maneuvers to evade the air pirates. Bust my bagpipes! Cried Scrooge as he saw what was happening. Baloo pulled his famous near-death maneuver as air pirates crashed while the plane pulled just up in time as he was the better plane. Then the Sea Duck turned around and did a soft landing at Duckburg Airport. Just then, Glomgold employees came up in trucks and to unload cargo. Baloo and Kit emerged from the yellow-orange airplane to unload and get gasoline for the trip back. As this was taking place, Scrooge went to his big gray bear and was shocked at his flying skills. Excuse me, sir. Happen to notice you're the owner of this here plane, Scrooge says. No, sir. I'm just the pilot of this here baby. I don't have enough moolah to afford the Sea Duck, Baloo said calmly. I see, Mr. Baloo van Brunwald. But, Baloo interrupted Scrooge. But you can call me Baloo, as he slapped Scrooge on the back. I see, Baloo. My name is Scrooge McDuck. But you can call me Mr. McDuck. Okay, Mr. McDuck. Oh, don't let me forget, this is my ace navigator, Cloud Carrier. Hiya, Mr. McDuck, the boy said while shaking his hand. So what can I do for you, McDucky? Baloo said. That's McDuck! Whatever, Baloo said. Anyway, I saw your amazing flying skills, and I was wondering if you do some deliveries for me. I pay you in advance, not just for the deliveries, but to buy your own plane back and from the original owner. That way you can be more independent, Scrooge laughed. Ha ha ha! How much we talking and what's the cargo, Baloo asked. The cargo is this experimental device called television. I have $65,000 in cash. Here for you to deliver this secret testing facility in Washington, D.C. An extra so you can own this airplane, Scrooge explained. An extra $2,000 if you make the plane successfully. Baloo's eyes lit up. Did you say $65,000? You heard right, Mr. Von Brunwald. Well, in that case, Mr. McDuck, Baloo shook his hand really hard, and the duck was being lifted up and down, very powerful. We have a deal. And McDuck was going up and down. Baloo and McDuck didn't know that one of Glomgold's employees was a spy for Shere Khan. And so, here we begin the end of this chapter. This is Jhonny Twobee signing off.